Welcome to the Butts and Seats Podcast, episode number 72. It's 72? The last... No, it's not the last Starrcade. I keep thinking it's the last Starrcade, and
no,
it's not.
We do have Starrcade 2000.
Yes.
But it's Starrcade 99, baby!
Starrcade 99. I'm Nick, alongside Emily.
Woo!
Emily, how you doing?
Woo!
We are 1 year removed from the first appearance of the stun gun.
Oh my god, was that a Starrcade?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how Goldberg lost his streak.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that was last Starrcade.
I don't think I realized that was at Starrcade.
Yep.
Oh, no.
This is technically Starrcade X7, because it's the 17th Starrcade, but it's no WrestleMania X7.
Yeah, no.
Or, as I call it, WrestleMania 17, because that's just how numbers work.
X7. That's not Roman numerals or regular numbers.
It's both.
That's
it's edgy.
stupid.
It's 2001, baby.
Baby.
Got this hot dog flavored water.
Ew, what?
The chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water. God, you're not cultured? You don't know Limp Bizkit album names?
I guess not. Sorry.
Emily, how you doing today?
I'm alive.
I feel like not much has happened in the world of wrestling since last episode to this one. It's still pre-WrestleMania. We are going to do our WrestleMania chat. We'll see how long it goes this time, because last time it was like, we'll talk for 20, 30 minutes, and then it was...
Let's talk for 2 hours.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that.
I'm excited. I'm excited because we're going to actually be able to watch together this year.
Yes, bits of it at least.
Bits of it. But I'm excited.
What were your expectations going into this show, Starrcade?
Incredibly low. I had the lowest of expectations going into this. Which I think is kind of the way I should be going into all of these.
It's important to have expectations. I think there is a false narrative of, oh, this is their WrestleMania. Like, it's not.
Well, they keep calling it the big granddaddy of them all.
Which WWE has stopped doing for WrestleMania.
Do you know why?
Vince McMahon is like, makes it sound old. Stop it.
He's afraid of aging, isn't he? I think Vince McMahon fears death.
By the way, that phrase, I think the origin of it is like, or not the origin, but the popularization of it is like the Rose Bowl. So WWE even stole that.
Oh, well, that sounds about right. But,
Emily, you want to get into the show a little bit?
I'd rather not.
Well, we can start with the buy rate.
Okay.
Because, oh boy.
I'm guessing quite low.
Ooh. Okay, you're actually going to have to guess twice.
Oh, no.
So last month did 200,000 buys. How many did Starrcade 1999 do?
I'm going to guess 175.
145.
Woof.
And here's the real woof. Do you want to guess how many pay-per-view buys Starrcade 1998 had?
Like 400,000.
460,000.
Woof! Oh no, so we jumped from 460 to 140?
What a difference a fucking year makes.
What a difference a stun gun and a poke of death makes. Fucking ouch.
Yeah, I think the numbers kind of speak for themselves there. I don't know what else we can really say that'll
Yikes. That just
tell
shows
you how
much
far it's gone.
This year in wrestling, it's been a shitstorm.
I mean, there were some good buy rates this year. It just really, like, once Russo took over, it really started.
What?
Yeah.
When Russo took over, it got bad?
Actually, technically, the pay-per-view before that also did really bad. Yeah, it's rough out there.
Not in WWE, they're doing great.
Well, WWE, they're still finding their footing from when Russo left. They're about to have perhaps their greatest, like, performance year in 2000, so.
Yeah.
But this is Starrcade 1999, written by Vince Russo. Just want to note that at the front. Taking place on December 19th, 1999, from Washington, D.C. I think it's still the MCI Center.
The nation's capital.
We start with the opening package with some very choppy audio, but that's just the way they edited it. Can you do a little impression of just the general style?
Tonight, Goldberg versus Bret Hart in the tribal.
Yeah, like it seemed like somebody had done it and they went not fast enough, and they didn't.
They just had to cut every possible bit of air between each word.
Here's the thing: they need to bring in George Lucas, because George Lucas is famous for having like one direction after, I guess technically two directions after each take, faster and more intense. It's all he would tell the fucking actor. It's faster and more intense. You wonder why the
good direct.
You wonder why the prequels didn't end up good. During this package, we do get the Batman music, which I forget if we got it last year at Starrcade or just got it in general.
What do you mean by the Batman music?
Just like, it's not actually Batman music, but that like orchestral Danny Elfman style kind of like, wouldn't be out of place in a Batman.
I did not really notice it.
Do you remember if they had previously announced that DDP and David Flair was going to be crowbar on a pole?
No, they did not.
Okay, I was just like, I don't remember them saying that.
But of course it was. Who's this show written by?
Mr. Vince Russo.
Of course it was on a pole.
The powers.
Powers to be.
Yeah. Are we just going with that now? I feel like they're still flip-flopping, but...
Who cares?
So I did note during this package that they're going through all the matches. All the matches do have a story, because I feel like last year at Starrcade, there were a couple, like, why is Wrath facing Meng? Or, something like that.
Where the fuck is Wrath?
Probably got sent back down to the power plant. Relatedly, I didn't realize that when we saw him lose that random match to Kevin Nash, he had like a 1.5 year long undefeated streak.
Oh, shit.
Like, he had a long undefeated streak. There's like, nope.
Nah, fuck you. Our main guy needs to get over more.
Relatedly, he might be booking, but don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. Shh, it's fine. Is fucking Jeff Jarrett booking? Because that would explain a lot.
No, he's just friends with Russo.
Ugh.
After that video package, we get a second video package, which just kind of focuses on the powerbomb match and the title match. Yeah. They were included in the first one.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, that was a good package. Oh, there's another package. Okay. Same thing? Sure.
We get the opening pyro going off. We have Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, and Scott Hudson on commentary. Kind of a random choice for a third there.
Yeah, where did he come from?
He's been around. I think we actually saw him on a couple episodes where Tony Schiavone was gone. I think he got attacked by one of the Steiners. I forget which one.
That rings a vague bell.
Yeah, they mention it's the 17th Starrcade, and I'm like, oh, maybe that'll bode well. Maybe 17 is just a lucky number.
Listen, this wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. I'll give you that.
No, it is far from the worst pay-per-view of the year. But the opening pyro goes directly into our first matchup of the night. It is the Disco Inferno and Lash LaRue versus Vito and Johnny the Bull with our boy, Tony Marinara.
Meatballs with the sauce. I thought that was really funny when I made that comparison. It's a little less funny now.
It's the same amount of funny to me from the first time.
It was hilarious because they're meatballs. Not so funny now. Move on.
The match starts, the four start brawling. Vito starts working over Lash, including a big delayed vertical suplex. Like, Vito's able to go a bit.
He is the Italian Karate Kid, as I've dubbed him.
Yes, because after that, he hits his karate kick and does the karate pose. And I'm just like, this is
It's a strange take on his moveset.
But I'm pretty sure Ralph Macchio is Italian, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but I'm just like, this guy is so intensely Italian, but he also does karate.
He does the two hands flicking the chin a lot.
Yeah. I can only see that as like the Italian fuck you. I think
that's what he's going for.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got.
And at this point, I just need to remind you that Johnny the Bull goes on to become Relic, and Emily, I don't know if you're aware of this. But Relic is killer spelled backwards.
You start that sentence every time as if you're going to give me new information. I know Johnny the Bull becomes Relic, and I know Relic is killer spelled backwards. I got it.
I just don't want you to forget that Relic is killer spelled backwards.
You must stop.
Tell that to TNA.
We're not reviewing TNA.
Yet.
No. You must stop.
So Disco tags in. Actually, it's a decent pop. The crowd starts pretty well and they're ready for the show tonight. So they do turn on some matches, but I feel like the matches had it coming.
Yeah, they're vocal. I'll give them that. They're not sitting idly by, which is like worse, I'd rather them be booing than them be silent.
Disco starts on offense against Johnny the Bull. Vito illegally attacks Disco, which the ref mostly sees, but then goes to confront Lash instead.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
There's a lot of interesting choices with the refs during this show. We get a big boot swinging neckbreaker combo from the Goons in a spot I liked. And
I've redubbed the Goons. They are the Gabagoons.
No, you wanted to call them the Gabagools and have them be like ghosts of some sort.
But then you said Gabagoons. I'm like, okay, that's a good midpoint.
Again, I know they will become the Mamalukes. I just don't know when.
The Gabagoons. If they can't be the meatballs and the sauce, they are the Gabagoons.
Well, after that double team spot, there's a really nice spot of they go for like a double hip toss, but catch Disco instead and turn it into like a big slam. Like, I've never seen that move before.
It was really
nice.
Powerful. Like, it was just straight up power. It was good.
Vito goes up to the second rope, does about 27 minutes of taunting, and then misses a dive. Like, we really thought it was going to be a flying nothing. Like, no, he actually went for something.
Yeah, we thought that, like, he was going to get his leg up or something. I don't know.
I mean, based on how he dove, it would have been a weird landing on the Disco, but
yeah.
Disco does a roll and then tags in Lash LaRue. Lash cleans house, then all four men end up in the ring. Disco gets thrown to the floor, and we get a big press slam from Lash from Johnny the Bull. He then goes up to the top rope. He then tries to do this spot where he like jumps from the mat to the top rope and slips.
Yeah, he
and
loses footing just a little.
And so he's facing backwards like he's going to do a moonsault. Does like a spinning 180 leg drop, but misses, and he was nowhere close to where Lash was. He really had a good idea in his head. But,
definitely threw off his calibration.
We get a spot of each team breaking up a pin from the other team with a diving move. Disco goes for last dance on Vito and then gets turned around and accidentally hits it on Lash.
Oh, no.
Vito hits a big impaler DDT and the Goons win.
The Gabagoons, please.
The Gabagoons win. Post-match, the Goons theme awkwardly plays over Disco getting beat down, and I'm like, is this dubbed or
It sounded dubbed. It was really loud. We couldn't hear the audience at all. It definitely felt dubbed.
They put him in a body bag, and I guess before
Tony,
that...
Tony clumsily pulls this body bag out of his briefcase. Where no one knew what the fuck was coming out of this case.
Yeah, and then after he seems like he's going for a chloroform spot, but he does it so quick that it's like, oh.
He just wipes a rag over Disco's face, just very briefly.
Yeah, it looks more like he kind of pie faces than anything. It's like,
but immediately retracts. That's not how chloroform works. I've watched enough murder shows to know how chloroform works. You have to hold it.
Emily, I've used enough chloroform on people to know that
no,
it takes a while.
I have watched CSI. I have watched Breaking Bad.
I've watched Community.
That too. Chloroform is a quick
That's a great
gag.
scene in Community.
Yes. It's a quick go-to gag. Literally.
So the Goons get him in a body bag, and then they go to roll him out of the ring, but then he has to stand up because they roll him out weird. And I don't want to take that bump, so he's just standing vertically in the body bag. Oh, okay.
This never would have happened if he hadn't turned his back on the Wolfpack.
They go backstage and then let Disco out of the bag for some reason. Then put him in the trunk.
They take him out of the bag to throw him in the trunk. I don't understand.
So they go to leave, and Tony Marinaro guns it in reverse to start. And he's like, oh shit, and then actually leaves the arena going forward.
Oh, it was bizarre. It was so dumb. I loved every second of it.
This actually wasn't a bad match.
It was fine.
Yeah.
I like the gags around it better.
Yeah, it's still a weird feud. Remember, this whole thing is over Disco Inferno owing Tony Marinaro's dad $25,000.
Which feels like such a small amount of money in 2023.
And again, how much do you get paid to wrestle?
Not a lot.
And it was because he bet on Duke to win the March Madness tournament.
Is that really why?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They brought this up.
On commentary?
No, I forget now. I think Tony Marinaro brought up on commentary, but we had a little chat about it on here because we looked and Duke came in second.
Oh, we did. You're right. Because I remember thinking, yeah, I would have bet on Duke. Duke's a big basketball school. I would bet on them.
No, but I thought this was a passable match, which may say more about our standards than anything. Post-match, we get commentary formally checking in because we actually hadn't seen them yet. And I'm like, okay, good. That is Scott Hudson. I'm not crazy.
Did you guess it was Scott Hudson's voice?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
They say that Scott Hall has been stripped of the U.S. title because he's not able to compete tonight. I think they said a knee injury, which I'm hoping is legit.
They harped on it again later on in the show. Something tells me with how hard they're hitting, it's a knee injury. Is knee injury means rehab, and they're trying to make you not think of the word rehab by saying knee injury a lot.
Well, I find it interesting that he got stripped of the U.S. title, but him and Nash are still the tag team champions.
Oh, that is interesting. I didn't think about that.
So, anyway, Benoit is just now the champ. They're like, yep, we're just going to give it to him. That's kind of lame. And Chris Benoit then comes out and says, yeah, that's pretty fucking lame.
Title should be won. And
he came to DC tonight to kick some ass and offers an open challenge ladder match later tonight for the U.S. title.
I came to kick some ass and chew bubblegum. I'm all out of bubblegum.
No, Roddy Piper does not accept. Let's go from there to the Cruiserweight title match. It is Medusa versus Evan Courageous with Spice.
Spicy. She's looking good. Looks very cute.
Start of the match, Evan Courageous kisses Spice, so Medusa dives from the apron onto him. Medusa then dares Evan Courageous to hit her, and
he does.
Boy, does he.
Woof. I mean, I don't want to say that I'm an advocate for male-on-female violence. I'm not. I'm an advocate for equality. In the ring, if you want to be a wrestler and you want to go against men, Medusa chose this match. She wanted this match. I don't know.
Shouldn't really go about it in the most...
I mean, no, but she wanted this match. I think that if you're going to have men and women in the ring together, they should not be pandered to. Women should be treated the same as men in the ring.
Yeah,
Especially when you have women like Asia and Midnight and Medusa who want to go. Like, if fucking Stacy Keibler was in there, yeah, maybe don't hit her too hard. She might snap.
the one weird element of this as well is that, like, depending on what day it is, punches are, like, kind of frowned upon. That's the thing in wrestling. You're not supposed to punch.
You can do the open hand punch.
Yeah. Oh, he was closed fist, like, clocker. Like,
Oh, did he actually clock her? I thought it was an open hand thingy.
So Evan Courageous hits a power slam and then misses a lion salt by about 6 feet. Medusa hits a spin kick and then a diving drop kick. We get a pop-up sit-out powerbomb from Evan Courageous, and he goes for like a rollover pin, and the spot is supposed to be Medusa bridges out of the pin. The referee has to pretend that, no, she kicked out because she takes a minute, and we've talked, that is difficult to do.
It is. It takes a lot of core strength, and they had already been going for a while. Evan's a bit heavier than her, I would assume. They're both pretty muscular, so I would assume that he is. I don't know for sure, though. That's a hard spot. She didn't quite get there.
No. Didn't help. At a certain point, she was like, I need to kick out, and it started like kind of flailing to like get her shoulders up.
The ref was still counting, and she needed to bridge out, but she couldn't.
Medusa then goes to hit a powerbomb on Evan Courageous, and oh, buddy, good on him. He saves himself.
He does. He's really lucky not to have a broken neck.
Yeah, because she basically is about to drop him on his neck, and he kind of gets his hands down to like kind of like smooth out his landing.
Yeah.
Like she did not protect him at all on that. He saved himself.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. But that's when the boring chants started.
Then Spice gets up on the apron for some reason. And starts distracting Evan Courageous with how adorable she is.
Feminine wile. She is quite adorable. It's very distracting.
Medusa hits Evan Courageous from behind, and Spice hits, I think, the record for the worst low blow in the history of wrestling.
Worst because she, like, punched him square in the dick.
Barely. She, like, lightly sack taps him to use
it looked harder to me.
Oh, she misses for the most part.
No, she didn't miss.
Well, the way you're supposed to do it is through the full legs.
Yeah, she didn't. I just thought she was like square punching the dick.
Well, she kind of did like the backhand flick.
Oh.
It was not good. We then get a German suplex from Medusa. She gets the pin, and we have a new cruiserweight champion. And she and Spice leave together. I guess, I don't know when Spice started being on her side.
I guess they're a team now.
I guess.
# girl gang.
This is a pretty rough match.
Girls rule, boys rule. Whatever, major loser.
Thoughts on the quality of the match, and not just
Gaslight,
men in general?
gatekeep, girl boss. No, I have no. It was fine. It was a match. I like seeing women in the ring. I like it. So I'm happy that Medusa actually got a match where she could like show some of her, strength. Granted, like it didn't come off all that great when she couldn't do a powerbomb and she couldn't bridge out of a suplex, but like it was still not the worst.
Yeah, because Evan Courageous, he's not a big dude.
He's not.
I have no idea how long she goes on to hold this for, so we'll see.
Knowing WCW, she'll be stripped of it on Monday.
I think it just unlocked a bad memory in my brain. We'll see if I'm right or not, but I just gotta, the scene in the first Star Wars where Obi-Wan's like, I feel a great disturbance in the Force.
Yeah.
I think I just had that moment, and I think I might know how and who she loses it to. And
does she drop it in the trash can?
No. She's not shimmy chucking in the bin.
Shimmy chuck it in the bin like.
Let's move on. Our next match is Meng versus Norman Smiley for the hardcore title, but in a thing we get a lot today during this show, we get a Mean Gene or Mike Tenay interview with one of the competitors. Here we get Mean Gene interviewing Norman Smiley. He is wearing a Washington redacted jersey. We
love the Washington football team. Go Sports.
So we said nothing's really been happening in the world of wrestling. Dan Snyder continues to be a piece of shit in the world of football.
What did he do now?
There's some questionable thing of he charged like $4.5 million to have a logo put on his private jet, and it looks like a fucking sticker.
Oh, good.
And everyone's like, where did that money go?
Definitely not to the stadium.
Nope. So Norman says he's cautious, he's not scared, and then yelps as a producer walks by. And Gene confirms that he did indeed soil his pants.
It was such a funny moment.
However, I think that was ad-libbed because he's wearing the away jersey, so it's all white. It's not anything there.
It was on his pants, not his jersey.
Yeah, but it was white pants too.
We didn't look at his butt.
We see his butt during the match.
During the match.
Yeah.
He could have changed his pants.
It's a plot hole, Emily.
He could have changed
his pants. Enters in like 30 seconds.
That could have been pre-taped.
Anyway, let's go to the actual match of Meng versus Norman Smiley, hardcore title. Norman starts throwing weapons in the ring, so Meng just takes the fight outside and hits some trash can shots. They go backstage and Norman hits trash can shots, but it has no effect, much like using Draco Meteor on Iron Valiant.
I actually thought you were going to make a Harry Potter reference there when you said Draco.
Meng keeps working over Norman, who screams throughout. They then brawl through catering, which it was a lower tier camera, so I thought it was like pre-taped, but I think it was just like a fake catering area because there was like no food, no one was there.
No.
Norman gets slammed through a table, which breaks on a delay. Norman then gets scared and just like throws himself through some pipe and drape.
Which confused Meng. I remember like Meng looking at him being like, okay.
I think he did it to hide because
He did it to hide, yeah.
Because he sees what happens next, which is Finley and Knobs come in and start attacking Meng.
But still, it was like Norman.
Yeah,
buddy.
Knobs got a haircut and commentary's like, I don't know if that's Brian Knobs. It is.
Oh, it's a terrible haircut. Did you see what it was?
Barely.
Frosted tips.
The problem is he always kind of had that. I think the hair was longer, so you didn't see the roots.
So it wasn't as obvious, yeah.
They attack Meng with a bunch of weapon shots. They knock out Meng, and Norman kind of sneaks back, pins him, sprints away immediately, and Meng tongue and death grips Nick Patrick.
Sure.
Nick Patrick, that's what you get for just fully lying about Starrcade 97 for the last 25 years.
What is he lying about?
He said, I don't know what Hulk Hogan did. And then Eric Bischoff recently was like, oh yeah, he changed it.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
So you get Nick Patrick. By the way, Nick Patrick appears later in the show. So
He does.
I figured that was like, oh, well, he's done for the night. Like,
No, he's fine.
Put it over now.
He's fine.
He might do the next match for all I
He
remember.
might. I don't keep track of the refs. There are like 3 refs.
This wasn't as fun as I wanted it to be.
No. Norman has kind of lost his luster. Like this gimmick, I guess.
A little. I mean, they're not doing a ton with it.
I wish they did something more than him just coming out in the town that they're in's football team. That uniform. I wish I remember when he was a knight? That was great. I
Again,
want to go back to that.
Emily, he was not the knight.
Remember when Jimmy Hart was a knight? That was great.
Yes, there you go. We haven't seen Jimmy Hart in a while. We go backstage. David Flair receives a gift. It's a golden crowbar.
Cool. I'm sure that won't come up again later.
Yeah, this is not the crowbar for the match later either.
I thought that it was.
We then get Oklahoma and Dr. Death chatting, I guess. Didn't really make much of this. We cut away to commentary and then cut backstage again to see...
The Misfits have abducted Oklahoma.
I said kidnapped, but
Abducted.
6 in one, half a dozen other.
Abducted is a better word.
And I thought that match should be next, but no. Instead, we go to The Revolution versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan and 3 mystery partners. I don't know who I thought this was going to be, but...
I was expecting it to be like Arn Anderson and those people, but they just got written out last week.
Oh, yeah, they didn't turn up at all.
No. Well, they got written out. They shouldn't.
We get a video package of this match. Then we go to an interview with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Doesn't really say much. He just says his partners are 3 true blue Americans, and then ho.
Ho!
And his partners are the Varsity Club. I don't know anything about the Varsity Club, if I'm being fully honest here.
Okay.
But the Varsity Club includes Mike Rotunda, a.k.a. IRS, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt's dad.
Thank you.
Kevin Sullivan.
Sullivan, my son!
And Rick Steiner,
My boy!
who feels the most out of place in
I know, but I
all
think
of
Rick
this.
Steiner's just the kind of guy that's like, I'm just here to have a good time.
They also have a sexy woman with them.
We do not get her name. Pretty sure it was a Nitro Girl, but
You
she was
are
very
incorrect.
cute.
Not
Really?
a Nitro Girl.
I could have sworn that was one of the Nitro Girls.
No. She goes on to get the name Leia Meow.
Oh, no.
She was in ECW. Peak Paul Heyman here.
Oh, no.
Her name was Kimono Wanalea.
Because she's Asian.
Her most famous thing in ECW was Tommy Dreamer's either girlfriend or wife at the time, I forget where they were, was having an affair, and Shane Douglas found out. It's like, no, it's not Raven, because he thought it was, and it was actually Kimona. I think the 2 women start making...
That's hot.
Yeah, and Tommy Dreamer has the line, I'm hardcore, I'll take them both.
Oh, my God.
Which is not the first time we've referenced that in the podcast, but the first time...
Kimona Wanalea. Paul.
Telling me
Jesus Christ.
ECW did not advance the cause for women in wrestling.
This is on par with J.K. Rowling naming her only Asian character Cho Chang.
I don't think I've really thought about that before.
You haven't? Oh, baby, get on Harry Potter Discourse TikTok. Or Reddit, or Tumblr, or anything from the years 2000 on.
Yeah, so Leia Meow.
Leia Meow. Okay. I hate it.
I'm trying to see if there's any wordplay with that I'm missing.
She's Kitty. Is this a play on Miss Kitty?
Maybe, but I don't think so. Actually, shit, within the last 2 weeks, she would have taken her tits out at Armageddon. Where WWF was like, we didn't plan this. We just happened to have Sergeant Slaughter standing 3 feet away with a towel when she ripped her top off.
Totally coincidental.
Yeah.
Who could have seen it coming? I don't know, maybe.
I have no idea how long she's here for, by the way. Shane Douglas hops on commentary for this match, so I assumed it was just now a handicap match, but he technically is a legal man, but we'll get to that later. Real basic action. Hacksaw starts this match, and he does not tag out at any point.
No. He refused to the point where I was like, why did we even bring the varsity club in?
Yeah.
Like,
they actually did end up getting physical, but I'm like, are none of these men cleared?
yeah, did they not pass a physical?
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, I thought Rick Steiner was injured, so maybe he's not cleared. Mike Rotunda and Kevin Sullivan haven't wrestled in so damn long. I'm like,
Kevin Sullivan looks old.
Yeah.
He's not looking great.
I never thought I'd say this before, but the mullet really de-aged him.
That's a sentence.
We get a couple 3-point stance clotheslines from Hacksaw, but Dean breaks up a pin. This is where commentary starts actually noting that Duggan's not tagging out, and the match gets real sloppy. Revolution work over Duggan, so the Varsity Club run in and really mostly beat down Asia for some reason.
Women can't wrestle. Rawr.
Then they help up Hacksaw, and then beat him down.
Yeah, this is where I'm like, what? I thought that I, missed something.
Nope.
We even, I think we stopped the show. I was like, wait, why? What happened?
I'm like exactly what you saw happen. Nothing additional.
What the fuck?
They just turned on him, beat him down. Didn't help that as they were beating him down, they were still attacking the Revolution to keep him out of the ring.
I couldn't tell if these guys had turned on Hacksaw to join the Revolution or if they were going into business for themselves, brother.
Business for themselves, I guess.
But I don't know why. I don't get why.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
It's stupid.
They lay out Hacksaw. Shane Douglas runs in from commentary, pins Hacksaw, and announces that tomorrow night Duggan will have to denounce his stinking country and his stinking citizenship.
What a stinking loser.
What a stinking match.
God.
This match stunk.
It was really bad. I was very angry after watching this. My last note for this match is stupid, bad, angry.
Yeah, weird mystery partners. Until they announced that they were going to be in a match, I assumed Harlem Heat would be the partners.
Would you call them blue-blooded Americans?
Yeah, they're from America.
But
I just found out Midnight, I believe, is from Jamaica.
Okay. That is not America.
No, but the other two are. So yeah, Duggan will have to denounce his country tomorrow.
America sucks.
Something tells me he's just going to clean house on the Revolution and not do it. That's my guess for tomorrow night.
That's probably not a bad guess.
Then you get Mean Gene interviewing the Misfits. They have Oklahoma in a shark cage just to make sure he keeps his word, because if Oklahoma loses the match later, actually coming up next, Vampiro will get 5 minutes in the ring with Oklahoma.
Yeah, but they never specify when that 5 minutes starts.
Well, we'll get to that.
Which is also stupid, bad, angry.
So yes, let's go to Vampiro versus Dr. Death Steve Williams. Vampiro wins. He gets 5 minutes with Oklahoma. Misfits bring the shark cage out to ringside, and then they lift it off the furniture dolly it's on. I really thought they were going to try to lift it into the ring for some reason. I'm like, guys, Jesus.
Yeah, I know you're strong, but please.
Oklahoma's doing commentary from the cage and is real annoying.
It's so annoying.
When Dr. Death comes out, Vampiro dives off the shark cage onto him in a nice little spot to start. The two brawl around ringside. We get a lot of plotting action from during this match. We're 2 minutes in, and I swear Dr. Death looks gassed.
You're probably right. This is one of those guys that probably doesn't work on his cardio. He just works on his strength in the gym.
He does a move which can look good, but not the way he's doing it, where it's the shoulder tackle to the knee where your opponent flips.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. It didn't look tight enough. So it's something's happening here.
I will give this match credit. It's nothing special, technically. I thought it had good energy. I thought it was kind of fun to watch. The energy was good. The wrestling was bad, but I thought it was fine.
We'll have to agree to disagree on this one. Get a back suplex, Dr. Death. Vampiro goes up top, gets caught. Scary top rope belly to belly from Dr. Death.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to drop Vampiro on his neck from the top rope.
Yeah. Thank God he didn't, because Vampiro is looking good.
Yeah, you want to tackle that together?
Nope.
Emily was in a certain mood last night. She was like, yeah, Vampiro's looking good. And I'm like, now?
I told Nick to ask me if Vampiro was a hunk, and he wouldn't.
The Misfits then come in the ring and attack Steve Williams, and Williams fights him off. Oklahoma on commentary calls for a DQ, and I'm like, you're not wrong.
No, and even commentary kind of points out, like, yeah, this should be a DQ. You're right. But it's not. Because why would it be?
We get a spinning kick from Vampiro. Dr. Death gains the advantage, climbs on top of Vampiro, and hits a bunch of punches.
Punch.
He refuses to stop, attacks Charles Robinson twice, so Charles Robinson disqualifies him, and Vampiro wins by DQ.
But Vampiro is still, like, laid out in the ring, like, pretty
Yes.
much unresponsive. But the 5 minutes has begun.
Yes, Dr. Death keeps beating down Vampiro, and, like, his security starts escorting him out. They're like, yep, the 5 minutes has started, and Oklahoma is saying, well, like, oh, Vampiro's laid out, I'll go fight him. And the person who has the key to the Starrcade is the head of security, Doug Dillinger. Doug Dillinger is busy escorting Steve Williams out, and I guess forgets he has the key, because it takes a fucking while.
Yeah, like 2.5 of these 5 minutes.
I would say 5 minutes for how long it goddamn takes. By the way, according to Wikipedia, this next match lasts 5:02. I don't know when the hell it claims the bell starts for that.
Oh, jeez.
We really should have timed it ourselves.
We should have, you're right. You know, for a match that's supposed to go 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure it went less.
Well, I missed the part where that's my problem. Oklahoma gets in the ring, hits a kick and a jumping DDT, and then does the Randy Orton stomp.
It's just bad.
He calls the Oklahoma stomp over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is actually like popularized by Jimmy Garvin. Vampiro gets up and slaps Oklahoma, who bails, but the Misfits throw him back in. Get a Uranagi from Vampiro. The Misfits all attack Oklahoma. The crowd has turned on this about 4 times already throughout the whole segment.
I can't believe you still have notes.
Nail in the coffin, pin, awful.
Yeah.
And again, this wasn't that cathartic because we saw Sid beat up Oklahoma on Nitro.
Yeah. This was kind of useless.
Emily, can I bring you some joy?
Please.
This is the last Steve Williams match we will have to watch on the podcast.
Okay. Does he go to, like, Thunder?
He goes back to Japan.
Good.
This is his last WWE match, period.
Are we done with Oklahoma, though? I don't know. I didn't think so.
We got a little bit more with him, but
I would
not
rather
much.
I'd rather keep Steve Williams and get rid of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, we have, I think, 1 more month.
A month?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Ugh.
I'll put it like, him and Vince Russo get, like, he's not fired, but get told to go home together.
Oh. Right off into the sunset together.
So let's move on. We go to the room. So Kurt Hennig is asking for some advice, just like anything we should know before we go out there. And Vince is like, I'm real distracted, guys. Something big is going down tonight.
Was this...
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. This is him telegraphing the main event.
Yep.
I was wondering why is he distracted? This is the only time we go to the room so tonight.
We then get Mike Tenay interviewing Harlem Heat before their match, and the short version of this is Stevie Ray does not like Midnight. And he's like, I'm not watching your back tonight, Booker, and he's out of the match.
Supposedly.
We then get Kurt Hennig and Creative Control with Shane versus Booker T and Midnight. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready for Booker to do a 3-on-1 match here, but actually wasn't the case. We get a spin kick to Patrick, and then Gerald tags in. I'm just going to start calling them whatever.
I was going to say, did you figure out which was which? So you agree, they're not identical.
I don't know which one's which, but I'm tired of writing one of Creative Control, the other of Creative Control, so fuck it.
Okay.
Spin kick to Patrick. Gerald tags in, works over Booker until a flying forearm and 2 arm drags. And Midnight tags in. We noted she learned how to do an arm wrench this week.
She did. She got a new skill in her repertoire.
The heels cheat, gain the advantage. They beat down Booker until he hits a scissor kick and tags in Midnight again. She cleans house, including a drop kick, and then gets worked over outside after a big clothesline to the floor by Hennig. It looked rough.
It did. She, like, does get hit pretty hard. Like, when she's in the ring in general. Like, she does take some hard hits.
Which is funny, because I remember when I think it's when she was wrestling Asia, we were noting, like, oh, God, she looks like she wants to die because of these bumps.
That's what I'm saying. She's gotten better.
They do the ref misses the tag spot, and Stevie Ray then comes out. He doesn't get out on the apron. He's just kind of lurking around ringside.
But you don't see him come out until he is ringside. Like, they don't do the ramp entrance for him.
Creative Control work over Midnight, but Gerald misses a flopping leg drop. It looked real bad.
Yeah.
Booker gets the hot tag, cleans house. Kurt Hennig comes in with brass knuckles right in front of the ref.
But didn't see it, obviously.
No, the ref catches it and then just decides.
It's just fine with it.
Nah, whatever.
Hey, don't you be doing that.
Patrick pins Booker as Stevie Ray and Midnight argue on the outside. Ugh, I need Harlem Heat to break up.
Yeah. I will say that like Booker and Midnight do work well together.
Yeah.
I thought so. I thought they had good in-ring chemistry.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. Midnight did not tag in and then immediately tag out 4 seconds
Exactly.
later.
She actually like tried.
So there's some points there.
Yeah.
But
She took bumps. She tried. That's all I need.
I know the night is darkest just before the dawn for Booker going forward. So unfortunately, I think we have some bad Booker T stuff coming up before he starts winning some titles.
Ugh.
Or in a short version, I think the second half of 2000 can be a lot better for Booker T than the first half of 2000.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's go to our next match. By the way, I don't think we actually noted that. I think we have 13 matches tonight.
They mentioned it on Nitro last week, so I was mentally prepared.
But I think they didn't count the Oklahoma match.
No, because I think they said 12.
Yeah, so this is match number 8. It is Jeff Jarrett.
We're already 8 matches in. Oh my god.
It is Jeff Jarrett versus Dustin Rhodes in a bunkhouse brawl. And again, we get a promo package for this. A lot of promo packages tonight.
Yeah, almost too many.
We get Mike Tenay interviewing Dustin Rhodes. Dustin doesn't say much anything before he gets blindsided by Jeff Jarrett.
Calls out WCW for firing his dad before he comes on. But, you know.
Oh, relatedly, in terms of Dusty, just because it recently came up in a Cody Rhodes promo, in this point in 1999, Dusty would have just made an appearance in ECW.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a 1 or 2 off appearance and just
Okay.
helped Dusty out mentally
Okay.
and financially. There was a promo with Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman on Raw where it came up and I was like, oh, that just happened.
Interesting. Very interesting that Paul Heyman's all talking about ECW again. You're acknowledging it. My tribal
It's
chief.
dead and I wish the same for Sami Zayn.
ECW is dead. They were booed harder at a show.
See, well, the thing is, he doesn't own it anymore. Stephanie McMahon does.
So there's a chance it could come back. She doesn't work for WWE anymore.
As an all-women brand.
Yes.
What a term that
Extreme
would be.
Championship Women.
I invented women. I created them extreme in my own image. The Jarrett attacks Dustin mid-interview. Backstage, he throws Dustin into the broken table from earlier, and I'm like, continuity!
Yes, they did not fix the table.
They emerge on the stage, and the bell rings. There's a wheelbarrow right by the main entrance.
Oh my god.
Jarrett runs a wheelbarrow into Dustin's knee, and then puts him in it and throws it into the barricade. Dustin gets out, and then scoop slams Jarrett, tailbone first, into the wheelbarrow. Both of us were like, oh,
That
God.
cannot have felt good.
We don't really enjoy Jeff Jarrett that much, but Jesus.
My god.
And we also noted here, what are Jeff Jarrett's pants?
Pant capes.
He has
He's wearing pant capes.
He has tassel chaps.
They're not tassel-y enough to be tassel chaps. It's just flaps of the front of jeans that just flop around. They're pant capes.
Well, he takes them off at some point.
Yeah, but I don't think I wouldn't call it like a chap.
Yeah, it's not enough material for a chap, but I'm just
No.
Dustin brings a rope with a cowbell in the ring and hits Jarrett with the bell. He does it so much to where the cowbell shot doesn't feel special.
Yeah, no.
I've watched matches where one of those happens and it's like, oh,
match is
Jesus.
over. Yeah.
Here it's just like, nope, over and over again. Dustin throws powder into Jeff Jarrett's face.
Pocket sand. How dare you call it powder?
Sorry, freedom powder if you're a Hulk Hogan.
Pocket sand.
Dustin hits Jarrett with the rope and then for some reason duct tapes the referee to the ropes. It's so the ref won't stop the match, but I feel like you weren't that close to it.
But there was a funny moment when he was duct taping the ref because he has to put the ref against the ropes. So he has each hand on the adjacent ropes. So while Dustin is duct taping, say, the right hand, the left hand is available to be stopping this.
No, it's on
but
the
ref
ropes,
is like,
sorry.
man, no, stop. What are you doing? His hand is still gripping the rope. I'm like,
I mean,
use your hands.
At the same time, we can
What are you
just
doing?
address Dustin Rhodes' Shattered Dreams move where it's like, I've put your legs on the outside of the ropes. Now you can't move. So
You're stuck here forever.
he has different rules in terms of rope physics.
According to him, ropes are just eternal prisons. If you touch a rope, you're stuck there forever.
Dustin keeps punching and whipping Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett low blows Dustin and Kurt Hennig runs out and
Of course he does.
what a heel. He saves the ref from being tied up.
Yeah, he unduct tapes the ref. What a jerk.
Jarrett chokes out Dustin and then In the wheelbarrow originally, there was it wasn't quite 2x4s, but it was just some thin piece of wood.
It was the length of a kendo stick, but not a kendo stick.
No, it was just a really thin piece of wood.
It was like before a kendo stick becomes a kendo stick.
It was like a 1/2x3.
Yeah, but these things break like fucking toothpicks.
And when they break, they go flying into the
my god, yeah,
crowd.
Shards of wood are just flying.
Jared smashes it over Dustin's back, and it's like the other half vanishes from view.
I'm complaining that I got a tiny little splinter today. Imagine being in the front row of that show. Getting clocked in the head by half of a 2x4.
I think that went way past the front row. Unrelated. Ever show you the clip of Brock Lesnar throwing a car door into the stands?
God, no.
And the crowd chants, "That's a lawsuit."
That sounds familiar. You may have showed that to me. Because why the fuck would you throw a car door?
Because it's Brock Lesnar.
You're dumb.
You excited to watch him face Omos at WrestleMania, Emily?
Ask me another question.
He accepted. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's gonna be an angle." No.
Why is this a match at WrestleMania?
All right, over under 90 seconds.
I think we should drink the entire length of the match. Chug a beer as long as the match goes.
Let's go back to the bunkhouse brawl.
Must we?
We get a sleeper to Dustin, and we get the longest 3 arm drop spot ever.
Oh my god!
Can
you were milking this shit. So he had him in the sleeper, and the ref came over to do the arm drop. So Charles Robinson holds his arm up.
No, it was Charles.
I think so.
No, it was not, because Charles he didn't get tied up. It was like Johnny Moon or somebody.
Oh. Well, the entire time since I've said Charles Robinson to just now, that's how long the arm was held up, and then he dropped it, and they did that twice. And then on the third time, I swear to God, he held it longer.
Yeah, it did feel like it.
It was so...
And the arm goes all the way down, and then Dustin picks his arm up and gives the finger.
Which was a good moment. The arm drop to the fuck you. It was pretty cool. It was a good moment. But it was just so long. Why were they milking it for so long? It was long enough for me to watch and be like, okay, guys, drop the arm.
He's out.
And saying the full sentence, and they still hadn't dropped the arm. What the fuck, guys?
So Dustin powers up, and then Jarrett locks in an immediate additional sleeper.
I did think it was interesting that when Dustin powered up and he tried to call on the audience for help, the audience didn't really increase their volume at all.
No.
It's a little sad.
We get a belly-to-back slam to Jarrett. Dustin hits a slam, but Hennig breaks up a pin twice. Jarrett has a pin on Dustin, and in a spot that happens a couple times tonight, Dustin just kicks out late.
Yeah.
Just oh, no, he had him.
The ref is just what the fuck are you doing, man? You're killing me.
Yeah, so the ref has to pretend again. No, he kicked out. Dustin sets up Jarrett for Shattered Dreams and actually hits it. I was just expecting something else to happen. But Kurt Hennig pulls the ref out of the ring before he's able to count for 3. Dustin then sets Hennig up for Shattered Dreams and hits it as well. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Double Shattered Dreams. Works great. What?
Jarrett and Dustin start brawling up the ramp again. They go to the entrance trussing. Dustin starts to climb it and then just decides, never mind.
Yeah, and commentary was oh, this is so dangerous and this is going to hold up all the lights. I was oh, cool, you're going to do a thing. He just jumps to the top and then jumps off.
Which, it wasn't seen by a lot of people, but that indie wrestling show where the lighting rig fell. I was having flashbacks to that.
Oh my god, climbing. Yeah, that was great though.
Yeah. By the way, all the theater people who've seen that are well, yeah, they didn't set up the fucking lifts right. The feet are still up.
It's a tragedy that it happened, but it's not unknown.
Well, somebody pointed
it's
out.
Not unheard of.
Somebody pointed out that it's yeah, the ref should be happy they were using LED fixtures, because if those were, if
those were can lights, someone would have died.
Well, they got severely burned. I don't know if they would have died.
I just think of one of those hitting you in the head. Just.
So yeah, Jarrett. So I guess Dustin decides, oh, this is very dangerous, because he goes, never mind, and just climbs back down.
He just very safely just jumps down. Never mind.
Dustin hits a running bulldog onto Kurt Hennig, and then Jarrett climbs the ladder on the stage that's there for the Benoit match later, hits a diving guitar shot, and gets the win.
So my question, which I ask again later in my notes, what is WCW's guitar budget? And is that why they went out of business? Is that why the company went bankrupt?
Emily, to quote Mike Graham, he broke 1,000 guitars, never drew a dime. I feel like you're realizing that in real time.
The way you said that was really funny.
He does the head shake every time. You can't say it without doing the head shake.
But he broke so many guitars. I swear he broke 10 guitars in this show.
Well, are you forgetting the one cage match where he came out with the bin of
Barrel
guitars?
of guitars, yes. That's why I'm asking, is this why they went bankrupt? Guitars aren't cheap, even if they're shitty guitars.
Thoughts on this match?
Actually didn't hate it.
It was a mixed bag for me.
I found it entertaining.
I think as much as we shit on him, and we'll have another moment actually coming up where we praise somebody else we kind of shit on a lot, I think this was carried by Jeff Jarrett.
No, I disagree.
Oh, I'm so not. I was way more into Jarrett than I am when I was into Dustin in this match.
I'm gonna disagree. I was way more into Dustin than I was Jeff Jarrett. I can't get behind Jeff Jarrett. He's such a douchebag.
I don't know. I don't care about Dustin's story.
It's the same fucking story as Cody Rhodes, and everybody's behind him.
Yeah, Cody's more charismatic.
You can't say you're not behind the story. It's the same story that's pushing the biggest guy in WWE right now.
No, actually, it's different stories. Cody wants to be the top of the industry.
Story.
Dustin's is like, you fired my dad. Your dad actually quit. You fired my dad.
You hurt my dad's feelings.
Also, I used to be Gold Dust, and Gold Dust sucked.
He's mad that he keeps getting fucked over in the industry. He was Gold Dust. He was 7. He fired his dad. Like, he needs to catch a break. And he's like, fuck it. I can't do it. Like, stop fucking me over.
Well, you're also somebody who is not into Cody Rhodes.
No. I will never, until he gets the neck tattoo removed, I will not be a Cody Rhodes fan.
I think I heard something the other day to where the stencil for it was like half the size of the tattoo. I was like, wait, what?
Which means they put the stencil on, and Cody was like, I like it, but bigger.
Let's go backstage. David Flair is attacking his teddy bear with the golden crowbar.
This man's found his niche. I don't know.
And then we go to his match. It is Diamond Dallas Page versus David Flair. Crowbar on a pole match.
This is the moment that I realized that it was crowbar on a pole. I know they said it in the very beginning, but when they said crowbar on a pole, I'm like, oh, fucking course it's a crowbar on a pole. Where else would you put the crowbar?
We got a promo package and then Mean Gene interviewing DDP. And DDP's like, yeah, David Flair has problems. I'm one of them.
Even Gene's like, now DDP, he's going through a rough time. He's not, all his screws are not tight in his head. And DDP's like, yeah, I know, but he's a piece of shit. I'm gonna teach him what's up.
Basically saying your mental illness does not excuse your behavior.
Yes, we love that. Being mentally ill is not an excuse to be an asshole.
So DDP comes out. David sneaks through the crowd, attacks DDP from behind with the crowbar. The bell rings mid-attack. I'm like, oh, okay. Doesn't seem fair to me. He doesn't attack him that much.
No, he hits him like once.
Yeah, DDP is then dying on the floor. So Charles Robinson then takes the crowbar away from David Flair and is like, your dad raised you better than this.
I am the son your father wishes he had.
Charles Robinson then is like, well, DDP's dead. He can't perform.
Match over.
Yeah, match is over. So Dave Penzer goes to announce it, and
DDP is like, absolutely fucking
grabs the mic.
not.
He's like, no, I'm going to kick this kid's ass.
How dare you?
Yeah, DDP refuses, gets in the ring, bell rings, and David starts beating down DDP. Like, working over the ribs. Isaac gets a lot of offense here. And you know what? He didn't look bad.
No, he really didn't. He's definitely been practicing. Like, he has been in the practice center.
DDP tries to lift David Flair for a scoop slam, but his ribs won't let him, and David falls on top of him. David hits a DDT, but only gets a 2, and he starts screaming at Charles Robinson that it should have been 3. David just keeps the advantage on DDP and keeps getting upset at various 2 counts. Discus clothesline from DDP, and both men are down. David hits a low blow and looks to the crowbar, but instead locks in a figure 4. DDP reverses the pressure, but David manages to get to the ropes and gets out of it. David climbs up, gets the crowbar, swings at DDP, but DDP ducks. David turns into a diamond cutter, and DDP gets the win. I think like 2 bits of offense, but good match.
It was really good. I'm not even gonna lie. This is probably like my favorite match on the card.
Yeah, I think I cite this as DDP being somebody to write the whole match down. They might have been practicing this during the week for all we know.
They may have, and that might be why David looked so good.
Yeah, it paid off.
Yeah.
It told a good story. The way this match was booked, and some of the booking kind of lately, is like, are you trying to turn DDP back face? Are you testing the waters for that?
Maybe.
Because this is a face performance. A guy who gets attacked before the bell decides, no, I'm doing the match, and then overcomes the adversity. Even if the adversity is a lesser wrestler.
It's still adversity.
Post-match, DDP hits a top rope diamond cutter to David Flair, and then he grabs a crowbar and he's going to smash David right in the dick with it.
You're going to tell me that he's a face?
Yeah, that's the one catch to this. But then Daphne runs down and shields David with her body.
Like, remind us who Daphne is.
Daphne, we last saw as a crazed fan who loved David Flair as part of a Nitro party.
She won the Nitro party.
No, she didn't win the Nitro party. She submitted her video of her Nitro party.
Oh, I think on commentary they said something about her winning something.
I think if you...
Maybe they misspoke, or maybe I
mean, it might be a thing if they show your Nitro party, maybe you like win.
Maybe you won. I don't know.
Something. I don't
Regardless,
know. But
it wasn't
yeah,
an actual Nitro party.
No, we talked about it at the time where it was like kind of pathetic for the broadcast where it's like, this is the only Nitro party you got in the last couple months. But yeah.
She finally makes her debut.
David Flair's number one fan, Daphne, is here. And we noted, both of us noted this, like they were friends as well, but God, you can see the inspiration that Nikki Cross takes from Daphne.
Oh, absolutely.
During this, like
her
literally,
eyes, I can see
she's
in
been
her
on
eyes.
screen for 90 seconds, and I'm like, oh yeah,
That's Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DDP decides to not hit Daphne with a crowbar. Like, okay, good. Then like half tries to hit a diamond cutter on Charles Robinson. Like it was kind of vague. And
He just has like this pent up aggression. Like, I gotta get it out on somebody.
someone
can't
needs
hit
to
a
feel
woman.
the bang. But yeah, David Flair did well in this match.
Very well. Like I've been saying for weeks, I like Crazy David. I think that he has found his niche. I think that he does maniacal very well. And I think that like this match proves that like he can translate that crazy character into the ring. And it looks good and it works. And I think that if he had just stuck with it, this could have been really good for him.
I know some pit stops in David Flair's journey, but I don't know the full journey itself, so
The journey into darkness.
not quite. Let's go to okay, we got 4 matches left.
Jeez, we're powering through.
It is Sting with Elizabeth versus the Total Package.
Okay, so
Oh no.
there was a video package before this, and it's basically just Lex and Sting fighting over Liz. Can you fucking explain to me
No,
why?
I can't.
Can you explain to me why they are fighting over Elizabeth? What is the appeal? What does she bring to either of them? Why is she here? Why do they want her? And why is she like this like prize? I don't get it. Help.
Because she has a big contract.
No. It didn't make any sense in the package. It didn't make any sense in the match. It didn't make any sense in the build-up. And I don't understand why they keep pushing
And it makes
Miss Elizabeth.
less sense post-match.
Yes. I don't understand why they keep pushing Miss Elizabeth as this, like, I don't know, desirable manager, I guess, is what they're trying to push her as.
Yeah, I think it's just left over from her managing Randy Savage in the 80s.
She's playing this, like, damsel in distress.
In the 80s.
Yeah, and she was a damsel in distress in the 80s, and she's been playing that as a manager, and it really doesn't work. And she's been playing it between Lex and Sting, and it's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
It's 1999, girl. Get with it.
That's my point.
It's been 19 years.
Well, it wasn't 1980 she was
Could
doing
be.
it, but
Could have been.
I do want to note that the stipulation for this match is that if Sting wins, Liz's contract is void with Lex Luger.
Yes.
Remember that.
Yes.
Lex comes out looking huge.
So my comparison for Lex, he looks like a G.I. Joe doll, but not like a plastic G.I. Joe doll. One of those that you can like elastic stretch forever. Then like
That's not a
snap
G.I.
back.
Joe doll. That is
Sorry.
just Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch Armstrong. That's what I was trying to think of. I could not think of the name. He looks like Stretch Armstrong.
I didn't quite get that. I thought he looked looking real Jack, baby.
He looks like a toy.
Yeah. And
He looks plastic.
and you know what? He probably has the articulation of some action figures as well.
Potentially.
They did get his lighting right this week.
Yes, thank God. And the snap pants actually all tore away in one go.
So Lex attacks Sting getting in the ring. Lex stomps Sting in the corner and throws him around ringside. He slams Sting, hits some elbow drops. I'm going to power through this match so quickly. Holy
Do it.
crap.
Yeah, it's not good.
Lex hits a suplex, but Sting gets right up. And then Sting and Liz just trade slaps on Lex. We then get a double clothesline. And we didn't note earlier that Sting asks, like, while they're coming out, like, do you have the mace? Like, kind of implying
okay.
he gave it to her, but it's never outwardly said.
Okay. Okay,
Like,
I guess
you
that
don't
makes
see him hand it to her, but he asks about it, so.
He knows it exists at
Yeah.
the very least.
So Liz comes in, goes to double cross Sting with the mace, but it's not mace, it's silly string.
Which was a really great
Fucking
visual.
got him.
It was a really great visual.
Honestly, it is great for Sting, because even commentary notes like, yeah, Sting gets turned on all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
He finally smartened up. He saw the swerve coming. So, yeah, she just sprays him with silly string, and he's
Fool
like,
me once, shame on you.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't want to believe it, but I shoulda.
So Liz goes back to the outside. Sting hits a diving splash and a facebuster on Lex. Hits Stinger splash times 2. He then goes for the Scorpion Deathlock. Liz gets in the ring with the baseball bat. Sting then stops and is like, don't you put the bat down.
Don't you do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Drop it. Drop it.
Drop it. What's in your mouth? And so he's like, okay, get out of the ring. He then goes to put the Scorpion Deathlock on, gets it on, and Liz just smacks him right in the fucking face with the bat. Which, as they were coming out, I went, it does look a little Nerf. And I'm hoping so because
I hope
Jesus
so.
Christ.
I was watching this while I was eating my lunch at my desk today, and I audibly gasped to the point where my student who was sitting in front of me was like, is everything okay? Like, what happened? I'm like, literally nothing.
The fucking
I'm so
sound,
sorry.
too, is the other thing.
I had to look at him like, nothing is wrong. I'm so sorry. I was like, I need to stop watching wrestling while I'm at the office.
So the bat shot causes a DQ. And Liz then puts Sting's wrist in a chair. Lex stomps it a bunch, like Pillmanizing kind of move.
He does not flinch.
No, he's selling being knocked out, but yeah, it
But
comes
at
off
what
weird.
cost? It was like weird. Like, are you dead?
Additionally, Lex
I ask
hits
earnestly.
Additionally, Lex hits Sting's arm, like not in the chair, with a baseball bat a bunch.
Yes.
And then, in one of our favorite moments of the night, Sting gets carried out of the ring, just like a drunk lad getting thrown out of a bar.
Yeah, it was a little reminiscent
Like,
of that.
he needed a stretcher. Clearly, like, I don't take too much time.
They have stretchers. Why
So
would
they
you
did like
get a
they did
gurney?
like 2 arms over 2 guys, and then there were like 4 guys on the legs.
6
And he
guys
just
carried out 6.
Carried him out. I'm like, Jesus.
Good lord.
Like, I wish Bret Hart, after getting taken out on that couch, got carried out like this.
Oh my god, can you imagine? But why would he get carried out? He was already so comfy on the couch. He was laying on that couch the way that I lay on the couch at the end of the night. Like, he was cozy.
You did. It was like the day after we recorded. You're like, Nick, who am I? And you just like splayed. And I'm like, are you Bret Hart? Like, yes.
It's funny.
This match was meh. It was more of an
Yeah.
angle, and I don't
was.
care about the angle.
No, it was stupid. Why is Liz such a hot commodity?
I don't know. She's a hot tamale.
Is she? Is she? She's like a mom who had a midlife crisis and got a boob job.
She's 39 here, by the way.
Yikes.
Yeah, she. I mean, I don't think it suddenly develops in the near future. I think there is some drug issues in her life because literally she dies in 2003.
2003?
Yeah,
Oh god.
yeah, and we won't get into it here, but there's a lot of potential blame to point at Lex Luger.
Let's just like wait for the dark side of the ring on her to come out.
Well, there is one with her and Randy Savage. I think they touch on her death a bit, but it's more about their relationship. But yeah, it's a
That's deeper than I want to
vague
get.
and tragic story.
Yeah, that's deeper than I want to get. Yikes.
Well, let's go from a sad note to something that'll make us angry. I assume we watched the second half of the show separate. This match angered me. I don't know how much it is going to anger you.
Uh-huh.
It is Kevin Nash versus Sid Vicious in a powerbomb match, which you did not realize it's just first person to a powerbomb wins.
Yeah, which is a dumb premise for a match. I stand by that.
They did tease this, and I think I kind of knew because on Nitro, I guess it was Nitro before this. They did a suplex versus powerbomb match.
Yeah,
and
they did.
Sid just did a powerbomb and immediately
And that was
won.
it.
Yeah, so person to a powerbomb wins. We get a promo package for this, and then both men come out to the ring. Nash tells Sid to suck it right before the bell, and I did count. Took 23 seconds to get to the corner.
Wow.
I actually admire the restraint.
Wow, they're growing.
Well, to be fair, about 13 of those seconds was locking up and heading towards the corner.
Yeah.
And then about 7 seconds of it was, am I going to go to the corner? Yes.
But hey, restraint. They're doing great.
Yeah.
On Kevin Nash's entrance is when commentary was really harping on Scott Hall's, I think they said knee injury.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they kept saying knee injury was like, I don't think it's a knee injury. I think that you're just saying that to cover it up. It's like when you're lying, you say you give too many details, and that's like the tell that you're lying. I'm not saying you as a person, but just like in general. I think that's kind of what WCW is doing. They're giving too many details.
Everything I'm seeing kind of says he's injured, but also says he's, back somewhat soon. So I don't know. It may have been a case of his knee's a bit banged up and they have other plans for him, so having him in a ladder match probably isn't great for him.
Okay. I mean, I will bite my tongue.
Especially if, depending on how it was going to go, like, was he going to lose to Benoit? I
don't think so. I think that they were going to give Benoit the belt because he won.
It's also a weird thing of, with the Click, you never know. It's, was he going to lose to Benoit? And all of a sudden, ooh, my knee.
Right.
Hall doesn't usually do that. That's more of a Nash and Shawn move, but you can't rule it out.
I lost my smile.
We get a sloppy clothesline Uranagi type move from Nash. I didn't know what he's going for. Nash low blows Sid when he goes for a powerbomb, and I'm like, is there a DQ in this match? I don't know.
I don't know.
Doesn't come up,
my guess is no.
Nash goes for a powerbomb on the outside, but Sid pushes him off and hits a boot. They generally brawl around the outside, and it's actually this answers my question about the DQ, because Sid hits one of the lightest chair shots. Lance Storm is telling you to fucking tighten that shit up. Oh my god. He just taps him like Hogan levels. Which, like, I know, take care of your fellow wrestler, but god, this was lame. Because Nash sells it like death too, is the problem.
Of course he does. He sold the poke like death too. He's a great seller.
Back in the ring, Sid hits a leg drop and punches, and then a scoop slam. Sid tries for a powerbomb chant, but it does not get going at all. You can literally see him going like, powerbomb.
No.
Nobody picked it up.
It doesn't work.
Nash gets thrown into the ref, and then Sid scarily powerbombs Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
We had a real hard time getting him up, but he kind of gets him to a point where like, okay, your back is flat, and then kind of drops him. Yeah. So, admittedly, even if the ref was alive, would the ref be like, do it again? That doesn't fucking count.
One more time with feeling.
Faster and more intense. Jeff Jarrett runs down,
he does.
Hits Sid with his guitar, and then knocks him out.
Of fucking course he does.
Jarrett helps Nash up. Nash then goes for a powerbomb, but can't do it due to his injured back now.
Yeah, he did sell that pretty well.
The ref has been starting to get up for about 4 minutes at this point.
Refs are glass.
Nash tries to go for the powerbomb again and can't do it
because his back is fucked.
And every time he tries to do this, Sid just lays back down like he's dead.
Yeah.
Nash then just gets the referee up and goes, I did it. Ring the bell.
And the ref's like, okay. What? In what? Why? Why did you just go along with that? Why? Are you joking? Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, that's what I wrote. Are you fucking kidding me? What the
You
fuck?
won't acknowledge a tag match where someone else has tagged in unless you saw it, but a power bomb match where you have to visually see a power bomb happen. You're just like, oh no, he said it happened. It's cool.
I'm starting a new conspiracy theory. All refs are actually heels.
Maybe.
They know everything, and they go,
could be.
At least in WCW, we're going to operate under that theory that the refs are all just heels.
Guys.
I mean, that's what it is during the invasion. They turn the WCW refs into bad guys, so.
I don't remember that angle.
You don't remember Nick Patrick versus Earl Hebner at Invasion?
No, I really don't. What? That's a match?
It's fucking great.
Wow, I blocked out so much of that time in my brain. No, that was never in my brain. I know I watched it. That never stuck.
And I hate to tell you this, the more you forget about the invasion,
the
more I'm going to make you watch. Because as of right now, I just have the Invasion and Survivor Series on the docket. But I think as of now, all the pay-per-views are getting added. Oh, and if you keep forgetting, I'm going to make you watch the Raws.
I can't do it. I did it once. I can't do it again.
No, you watched the SmackDowns. You didn't watch the Raws.
No, I did not watch the Raws. You're right. The Raws. I did not watch the Raws.
So, yeah, Nash wins without winning.
I can't believe the ref went along with it.
The one thing is, I think it was the heel ref, like legitimately heel ref from Nitro, the one who decided that Creative Control won and Paul Orndorff was fired. Like, it was like Johnson again.
Oh, okay.
So it is actually a heel ref, but still.
But so is Charles Robinson. So maybe you're right. Maybe
Charles Robinson kind of is back to neutral.
He's still a heel ref in my heart.
You want him to be that.
He's a heel.
Let's move on. We got 2 matches left, and we have very different feelings on this next match. It is the Chris Benoit U.S. Open Challenge. We first get Mike tonight interviewing him, and he just basically says there's no opponent yet. I don't know who's going to be.
Hey, Nick, you know I haven't seen in a while? I'm really missing Jeff Jarrett. I haven't seen him, like, at all.
Well, you're in luck, Emily. Because the challenge is accepted by Jeff Jarrett.
What?
Okay.
I can't. Admittedly. This is where the match lost me,
I didn't put a ton of thought into this, but who else could it have been?
Literally anybody else would have been better. Anybody else. The Revolution didn't get a lot of screen time tonight. Could have done Dean. Could have done Perry. Could have done Booker, Stevie. Bring back the black and white NWO. Fucking anyone would have been better than Jeff Jarrett.
Emily, I have a tragic thought in that it would have been a great match. You know, we haven't seen in a few weeks. They're just like, oh yeah, have him come back like this. Billy Kidman.
Oh, that'd been great. God, I hope he comes back soon. I miss him.
He wrestles on the next pay-per-view. I know that.
Thank God.
I did write Jeff, take a night off. And Tony Schiavone agrees because he goes, Jeff Jarrett? Again?
Be so fucking for real. Get off the stage. Get out!
They rush to brawl on the ramp. They make it back in the ring. Benoit hits a backbreaker and then hits some chops. Hits a superplex really early on. I'm like, wow, you didn't build to that at all. Just went for it. All right. Benoit goes for the ladder and Jarrett baseball slides it into him and then drops Benoit face first onto the ladder.
Drop is putting it kindly. He just like vaults him face first into the ladder.
I think this is where Benoit breaks his nose.
Oh, does he break his nose in this match?
He's gushing blood from his nose during this match, so I think this is where.
Oh, okay.
Jarrett sets up the ladder in the corner, but then gets thrown into it twice in your favorite wrestling rule.
He who sets it up takes the bump.
Benoit goes to climb the ladder, makes it up 2 steps before Jarrett catches him, and then drops him crotch first onto the top rope.
This is where it loses me. Well, it lost me when Jeff Jarrett walked out, but like this, I'm lost at this point.
Jarrett hits Benoit with the ladder a few times, and Benoit's nose is just gushing blood. This is where the camera starts focusing on it.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think that it was a broken nose, but you're absolutely right. It probably was.
Jarrett sets up the ladder in the corner again, and then hooks Benoit onto the ladder via his leg, and then slams Benoit and the ladder like back first onto the mat. And I was like, "Oh,
that was rough."
I've never seen that spot before though. Not to be outdone, Benoit then hooks Jarrett to the ladder via his leg and starts climbing, but Jarrett manages to like tip it over using only his like leg and core strength. I thought it was pretty impressive.
It was all right.
However,
I don't know. It was just.
However, this is where it gets real repetitive because the two climb the ladder and trade punches. Benoit gets punched off, tips the ladder. Benoit climbs it, and then Jarrett tips the ladder. Jarrett climbs it, and then it gets tipped over again. Just like, I feel like you could have done without that sequence in the match and would have been better off for it.
And it's not even just like, yes, my issue with this match is that it's a repetitive ladder match, repetitive and predictable. It's not even just that this segment's repetitive. These are the same segments that go into every ladder match. It's boring. You're going to have the fight for power. You're going to have someone tip it over. You're going to have it like someone else crawl up and the other person tip it over. Like it's just, this is a ladder match. I love ladder matches when there's multiple ladders. This is boring and repetitive and predictable.
I think in general, it is also, it's very difficult to do a one-on-one ladder match.
I guess.
Because you tip somebody off the ladder, like they should be selling that. And instead, like there's nobody else.
There's no time. Yeah,
like that's why the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and Dudley Boy matches work so well because there's enough people to where like it makes sense for people to like take a rest.
Yeah.
And,
those were good matches.
Like it's not impossible, but it's incredibly difficult to do a good one-on-one ladder match, in my opinion.
I think you're right.
And a lot of the ones that are one-on-one end up having interference from the heel's manager. So even then, there's something at a certain point where it's like, oh, this would win the match, but heelery.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Benoit climbs the ladder, so Jarrett hits a diving drop kick to the ladder, and Benoit crashes to the ground. In a weird spot, Benoit goes to get thrown into the ladder, but like commando rolls under it, and then drop kicks the ladder into Jarrett. This knocks Jarrett out.
Oh yeah, he is out cold.
Benoit climbs the ladder, literally puts his hand on the belt and goes, nah, and hits
done.
Yeah, hits a diving headbutt from the top of the ladder onto Jarrett, then reclimbs the ladder and takes the belt down.
Oh, head trauma.
Yeah. I thought this was a good match.
I was really bored.
I liked this match.
Okay, I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Again, there was the bit there where it got tipped like 3 times in a row where it just nothing interesting with it happened.
Yeah.
To where I agree. I'm like, oh, okay, this is getting...
I think we've just seen the same ladder match too many times, in my opinion. I'm just bored. I think a TLC match or a multi-person match, like a Money in the Bank sort of situation, I think that's better. That's a better way to do a ladder match.
Credit to Jarrett for having his working boots on during the show.
He did.
And doing two,
He definitely had
kind of rough
working
matches.
Boots. He's not my MVP.
No.
I will not give him MVP. I don't care if you were in every goddamn match on this card. You're not my MVP.
Admittedly, I thought about it, but I actually think him interfering in the Sid match, I'm just like, we get it, you're here.
When he came out for this one, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
But no, he's being earmarked for a big push and is like trying to like work to prove he's worth it. Yeah.
He's trying too hard. It's
Well,
over.
He's trying too hard and he's being pushed everywhere.
Yes. He's trying too hard. Russo's trying too hard. It's all too much.
He's 1999 Roman Reigns.
Yes. But less likable?
He's WCW Poochie.
Poochie?
Yeah. Whenever Jarrett's not on screen, everybody should be asking, where's Jeff Jarrett?
Oh my God.
So Emily, are you ready to go to our Starrcade main event?
Well, there's someone there waiting to greet me.
Well, in a minute, because first we get a video package, which, admittedly, I tune most of these out because I'm like,
They're
I
all
watched the
same.
Nitros.
Yeah, exactly. We watched the build.
We get Mike today interviewing Bret Hart. Bret says he wants to prove that he's the best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be.
He did have a good line in this package that was like, I'm going to prove tonight that Bill Goldberg will lose. It was just like, it was so simple. It's like, he'll lose.
Well, speaking of Goldberg losing, you know what they didn't mention once?
What?
I'm like 90% sure that since last Starrcade, Goldberg has only actually lost one match.
Really?
To Bret Hart under the really screwy opening round thing where there was like 17 interferences.
Interesting.
Like, he's basically not lost in a year.
They kind of let go of the whole streak thing, though.
Well, because the streak's over.
Yeah, but remember they were doing the Sid thing, too.
I don't... Emily, why would you get me started on this? Can't believe Sid tied the record.
Wow. I can't believe Sid blew the record out of the water and didn't even make a big deal about it. What a humble king.
We stand. We stand the master and ruler of the world. But we go from Bret Hart's interview to the ring. And Emily, who's here?
It's Michael Buffer time!
I don't know whether Michael Buffer fucked up or he decided to, call an audible. Apparently, according to commentary, he did not say, let's get ready to rumble. He said, we are ready to rumble.
Yeah, that's true. He did. He changed up the words a little bit. Does
Like,
that mean that his rate of pay is a little less?
Now, did he fuck up or did he go like, oh, no, we're ready. It's Starrcade.
No, I think he fucked up.
Yeah. He didn't call him Bret Hitman Clark, so there's that.
Oh, God.
Bret comes out first, and I'm like, you're the champion. Like, that's not the way that's supposed to be. Goldberg does his full entrance, already bleeding from headbutting a locker backstage.
He headbutts the door before he comes out of it, I thought.
Yeah, it's something, but he's...
Bro,
yeah.
Stop it.
As he's making his entrance, we both did know that, like, no, like, this does have a big fight feel.
It really does.
For what it's worth in the build, like, this was an awful build.
Yes.
Like, there's no story going into this. Like, weirdly enough, of all the matches tonight having a story, this might have been the worst one. I'd say maybe this or Jim Duggan and the Revolution.
The story for this one's just, I promised you a match, here's the match. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm, like, misrepresenting that.
The two shake hands and the bell rings. Goldberg powers Bret into the corner, but then we get a clean break of like, nope, no one's going to be wrestling heel for this match. It's just two faces. Bret goes with the ground game to keep Goldberg down, and Goldberg shortly overpowers Bret with a shoulder tackle and then hits a big press slam into a power slam. Goldberg locks in an ankle lock type move, but Bret almost turns it into a sharpshooter in a smooth transition. But Goldberg powers out and gets to the ropes. They go outside and we get ref bump number 1. Weird.
Number 1?
Yeah, weird.
Why are you
would
counting?
count. Yeah.
That's so weird. So weird and quirky of you.
Big boot from Goldberg back inside. Goldberg hits an underhook suplex, and on the move, we get ref bump number 2.
Number 2?
Goldberg goes for a spear, but crashes into the corner turnbuckle. The actual pad, not the post.
Yes. It still looked rough, though. Like, he went at it with some power.
In something to note, Bret locks in a figure 4 around the ring post. And when he goes to do it, his head hits the, like, padding on the outside. Like, he doesn't...
Bret Hart does?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
That's been noted somewhat recently. When you actually watch it, People are like, oh, it hits the concrete. It hits the pads, but the pads aren't, the coziest. It's vague who's supposed to be doing what support there. I don't know enough about that move to really.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we get some big Goldberg chants in this. We go back inside. Brett's working over the legs of Goldberg and locks in a figure 4, but Goldberg powers to turn it over, and Brett gets into the ropes, which prompts Goldberg sucks chants.
Yeah, what? They turn on him so quickly.
Yeah.
You don't hear Goldberg sucks often at all.
I didn't know that people were rooting for Brett or rooting against Goldberg.
I would think it's rooting for Brett, but it could be either. You're right.
Brett keeps working over the legs and then gets Goldberg in the corner. Does a big wind up to punch Goldberg and then clocks the ref for ref bump number 3.
Jesus.
And then we get a spot that we've been building to for quite a while on the podcast. Goldberg reverses an Irish whip. Bret Hart bounces off the ropes and Goldberg hits a big thrust kick right to Bret's head. This is commonly known as the kick that ends Bret Hart's career.
So I don't totally understand why it ended his career. I understand that he got a concussion, but I don't understand why that was a career-ending thing.
All concussions are different, but
I guess.
Bret does go on to wrestle more matches, so he goes on to aggravate the concussion, for lack of a better term, and that, that may be the more true cause, but this is...
the inciting incident.
Yes.
Okay.
And that kick is why Bret Hart hates Goldberg.
Oh my God.
Everything we've been joking about, that kick is why.
I had no idea that it was coming, soon.
I know, that's why I'm like, just wait, we're so close.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it just...
I don't think I realized that he hated Goldberg because of, a career-ending thing either.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, just, Goldberg, even at this point in 99, is still a bit green and still,
I guess,
rough with people and doesn't take the most care of their opponents. Very, different end of the spectrum than Bret Hart. I mean, there's an OSW joke that if you watch Bret Hart get thrown to the outside, he grabs every rope on the way down to cushion the blow. So
okay.
It's, Goldberg works a lot harder, and sometimes that means he stiffs you hard for real.
Yeah.
And, when you get kicked full force in the head like that,
yeah,
especially
by a big guy.
Brett's also running into it is the other problem because he bounces off the ropes.
Oof.
But our Bret Hart matches are numbered. We will...
99's a shit year to be Bret Hart, isn't it?
Yeah. And I don't even know if you know this. Around the end of 2001, early 2002, he suffers a stroke too.
I think I did know that.
I think it's induced by his dad dying.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, I think I did know that. This poor man's been through the fucking ringer.
Yeah. That said, don't listen to Eric Bischoff talk about Bret Hart.
No, fuck Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
I'm assuming don't listen to Vince Russo or Vince McMahon talk about him either.
Vince Russo actually likes Bret Hart.
That's okay. Okay.
And Vince McMahon, they've had their issues, but I think now, there's maybe some reverence. It's weird. I don't know.
I would just take everything that anybody who's booking wrestling says about Bret Hart. I would take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So after that, we get Goldberg spearing Bret Hart, but there's no referee, so no one can count to count the pin. Then we get Roddy Piper coming out. And Emily, do you remember your exact words when he came out? Because I almost busted out laughing. I do want to note, I knew the end of this match before it happened.
What did I say?
The hero we needed.
I did say that. Oh.
And I was like,
oh.
Just watching you walk straight into traffic, and I'm like, oh, she doesn't know.
Oh no, the bus is coming. Should I tell her? Nah.
Brett then takes out the leg of Goldberg and puts him in the sharpshooter, and in the middle of turning him over, Roddy Piper turns towards ringside and calls for the bell. Bret Hart has won via screw job. It's Montreal all fucking over again.
This is so stupid. This is so stupid.
Bret Hart finally had a good moment, and it's like, nope, let's do Montreal.
Why did Bret agree to this?
I think because Bret Hart's over it.
Maybe.
I think that's what it is. So that's I was listening to something with Eric Bischoff. That's why I was saying don't listen to Eric Bischoff about this. Eric Bischoff's like, oh, well, we can blame Bret Hart for this. Like, what?
Why the fuck would we do that, first of all?
Like, well, he could have said no. And it's like, Bret Hart is pretty mentally checked out.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. I think especially when you pitch to him, he goes, oh, yeah, great.
Fuck it, fine, I guess.
So Piper grabs the belt, heads towards the back. Brett confronts him, and Piper hands him the belt and leaves. Brett doesn't understand. He's Shawn Michaels now, and they go off the air. Ooh. This was a good match until Vince Russo got in the way.
It was a good match.
Yeah, this is this is even
big ol' woof.
This isn't even the first time that Vince Russo has rehashed Montreal.
Well, he probably thinks it's hilarious. He's a fucking masochist. He probably thinks it's the funniest thing that ever happened to wrestling.
No, it's not that he thinks it's funny. It's that, like, oh, Montreal was so real. We need to bring that realness back.
He's the kind of guy that would pitch the real world WCW to MTV. I'm shocked. I would be shocked if that conversation didn't happen.
I'm not aware of any WCW reality shows, but you should look into if any of them ever actually existed.
If they exist, I will watch them. And I will obsess over them.
But with that match in the books, that's it for Starrcade 99. A weird show.
I didn't hate it.
But not a bad show.
No, it was definitely not as bad as I was anticipating. I think my expectations are low, which makes, everything kind of better than I expected. But it really wasn't that bad of a show.
Minus the absolutely bullshit finish of Nash and Sid and the bullshit finish of the main event. But
none of
the match quality was abysmal.
No,
it was just
right. It was boring. But you even lost your mind at them carrying Sting out, and you looked at me after what I said last week. You're like, "This is what I love when everything starts to just fall apart and become unhinged."
I want them to try.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The problem with Nitro was it didn't feel like they were trying. I want to see the train go off the rails.
Here's the comparison that I can make. You don't like bad movies. You like movies that are trying to be good that end up being bad. You don't like Sharknado. You like The Room.
Yes, I don't know how much I'd cite The Room, but yeah, I want.
You see what I mean, though.
I want the hubris.
Yes, The Room was made trying to be good.
Yeah.
He was trying to make a good movie. Sharknado was never trying to be a good movie.
Yeah.
Sharknado knew what it was, but The Room thought that it was going to be an Oscar-winning movie, and that's what makes it so golden.
Yes.
I think that's why you like this so much. You like the hubris. You like somebody behind the scenes being like, "This is fucking art," but it's very much not.
Yeah, Vince Russo is like, I just need 6 months. This is all going to turn around. Mm-hmm. And it's like...
So when does that 6 months start?
Oh, sweetie.
Oh, honey, oh, sweetie, no.
I mean, you're in much better spirits than last Starrcade. At least at the end of it.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that Starrcade.
It was probably a better show last year, too. Just with more of a bullshit finish.
I mean, I can't remember the show because the finish was so garbage. That will only ever be the fucking stun gun Starrcade to me. That's it. In
similar ways, that's all anyone remembers that one for.
That sounds about right.
And the main event of this one is all anyone remembers this one for.
That's sad.
When you book bullshit finishes and it's the last thing the last thing people see, it's a thing they remember.
No, and you're right.
But with Starrcade X7 done, let's go to our best bit, worst bit, and MVP.
So I am having a hard time finding my best bit, so I might need to hear yours before I decide mine. I have one in the back burner in my head, but I have a worst bit and I have an MVP.
Well, Emily, my best bit is the ladder match, so you're not going to pick that one.
Well, okay, that makes my decision easier.
I enjoyed the ladder match. I thought it was the best worked match of the night. I think,
okay.
Admittedly, seeing Jeff Jarrett earlier does take away from it, but I think I didn't take notes on the first time I watched it, and then rewatching it today when it was just like, oh, it's just a match. It came off better. So I think the Jeff Jarrett fatigue didn't weigh on me as much because I watched it a little more in isolation.
And you watched it with a day removed.
Yeah.
There was just so much. There was way too much Jeff Jarrett.
I think it's a good match, and I think that little repetitive bit doesn't kill it.
It's not even just that bit. It's ladder matches in general. I have ladder match fatigue. I'm over it. I guess I'm going to give my best bit to the DDP David match then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really loved that match. I really thought they both did a really good job.
On other days, I've given you shit for having David Flair in your best bit or MVP. I'm not going to give any shit here. That was a good match.
Well, good, because let me tell you who my MVP is.
Is it David Flair?
It sure is. He found who he is in the ring, and he knows what he's doing, and he's doing really well with it.
Well, I gave my MVP to the other side of that match, and it's DDP for basically putting together a match to which David Flair looks good.
There you go. All right.
And
do you have a worst bit?
I do. Do you have a worst bit?
I do. I think our worst bits are the same.
What is your worst bit?
Kevin Nash.
Oh, no. I really thought about it, but no, I have to give it to doing Montreal again.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
I mean,
That one didn't make me as angry as the Kevin Nash finish.
I think part of the issue is I am so done with them doing Montreal. You've not seen it done nearly as much as I have.
Yeah, that's
and in
fair.
1999, it hasn't been done as much. But I'm so tired of, like, once a fucking year for, like, 15 years, it was, all right, let's do the screw job finish. Like, some major company was doing the screw job finish. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I just don't fucking need it.
That is annoying. I'll give you that.
Because Russo did it with Survivor Series 98, did the screw job. Just to be like, oh, it's a year from the actual Montreal. And we get one here, and there's probably fucking one in 2000, I'm forgetting.
Probably.
But
then the pipe bomb happens in the 2010s, and then that becomes the thing.
yes. Which, ironically, they actually teased during that match that they're going to do a screw job.
Of course. Because history is, say it with me, folks, cyclical.
Yeah, but this continuing the trend of let's do Montreal, I'm just it's more what it stands for rather than what it is.
Fair.
Because I mean, I'll admit the finish of Nash and Sid was a close fucking second.
Oh my god. Anything that like makes me feel like vehement anger, I have to give it to
And
them.
I think the other point in Screwdrive's favor or detriment, depending on how you want to look at it, was it ruined a good match versus was Sid and Nash really that good a match?
Right.
But yeah, that's another episode in the books for us here at the Butts and Seats podcast. Next up, it's the Nitro after Starrcade, and Emily, let me tell you, it's a fucking doozy.
Oh no.
There's some big things happening.
Oh no.
But until then, you can follow us on social media at Butts in the Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and Butts in the Seats podcast on Facebook. Also listen to all our back catalog, including last year's Starrcade and the WrestleMania in between then and now, just to kind of give it some comparison. You can listen to that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Emily, any closing thoughts on this show? We're almost at 2,000. We have 2 more Nitros.
We're getting there. I don't know. I'm not in a place of I want to die right now.
I know, we're like weirdly optimistic.
I know. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, it didn't leave us with like a good taste in our mouth, but like it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And the way that you're looking at me makes me think that Nitro is going to make me want to die.
Well, let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
But until that episode, I'm Nick.
Hi, I'm Emily.
And beware of the future of the
God.
Butts in the Seats podcast.
Bye.